Yes, this next honoree is special on many levels. Christina Pascucci, my new colleague and friend, my South Bayer. We live near one another and have yet to actually see each other outside of the station. It will happen one day soon. So this award, come on up. Even though you make me look short because you're a supermodel. This is Christina. So the next award is the Ambassador Henry Morgenthau Sr. Courage Award, which is presented to an individual who actually embodies strength, courage, determination as Ambassador Morgenthau and his efforts to take a stand against the injustices committed by the Young Turks government. This award is important to us, and it's being offered to Christina this year because while she was in Armenia, she actually went to Artsakh. Christina traveled to the very front line. She actually went and visited many cities like Jermuk, and she spoke to families, people who've been impacted by the war there, and they're impacted even to this day. What's interesting is, in September, Christina, prior to joining us at Fox, did a little adventure where she went all over the world, and she chose to go to Armenia. And she sent me a message and said, I'm going to Armenia. Can you hook me up with a translator? Can you recommend a place for me to stay? And I was so excited. I'm like, yes, of course, absolutely. I just regret I'm not there to do it myself. So I connected her with some people, and then she said she had plans to go to some of these border towns and to actually come to understand what was actually happening. She had that interest to go there herself, which was just so admirable and so amazing. The day she was, which city were you in when there was, you were in Jermuk, okay. So the day there was actual fighting there, or shots had been fired, we were communicating, and we had plans to do a Zoom together so I could do an interview and then put a little something together for the newscast. And it was a way to introduce Christina to the Fox 11 audience. And I remember how stressed she was, and there was so much going on because you were worried that some of the soldiers you'd been able to speak with that day, whose identity you were going to conceal for their safety, you were worried that some of them had been injured. And I remember just the emotions you were feeling, and it was a very stressful evening, but you made the time to actually speak with me that night. We put that story on the air, and then when she came back and she joined us at Fox 11, she also had so much material. She put some pieces together. I hope you've seen it. I've shared it. They're on our website. They're on her social media. Christina is the type of journalist that I think when someone is looking into the field of journalism, this is the kind of person you want to be like. Someone who's curious about the world, who wants to learn about people, who just has this hunger and passion to tell people stories. She is in it for the right reasons, and many people who come into this industry, especially in this day and age, are in it for the wrong reasons. But Christina really embodies everything that is respectable about journalism. It's an honor to work with you now and to know you, and like I said, we will get together soon. So what's also important, and also such a kind of ties it all in, is the fact that Christina talks about the fact that she learned about the Armenian Genocide for the very first time from her Spanish teacher at Calabasas High School, which is really amazing, right? Dr. or Miss Grigorian. Unfortunately, she was not able to be here today. We were looking forward to connecting the two of you, but this brings it all in. This was one teacher who spoke of the genocide. It stayed with her. She's always been curious about it. And many years later, she decided to go to Armenia to actually be there in person. So Christina, thank you for your passion. Thank you for embracing this community. We are happy to have you and excited as a non-Armenian that you've taken an interest in our cause.
I am deeply touched by this award and what it represents. Los Angeles, as we know, is a melting pot of such vibrant culture, and something I've noticed over the years reporting on the streets of LA for 15 years now is the Armenia diaspora here has really stood out to me. How fiercely Armenian Americans celebrate their family and their culture and their history. And being here at an event like this, you understand why that is, because they know what is at stake. So this being a Courage Award, I want to talk more about that. Yes, courage is what ultimately led me to Armenia, to Jermuk, as there was gunfire going off. Courage is what led me to Sokt, where a man took me inside of his bombed out home. It still makes me emotional thinking about just that scene, where shelling had fallen feet away from where he slept. And courage is what led me to reporting on the blockade impacting the Republic of Artsakh that has now passed 100 days. But it wasn't my courage. It was the courage of the Armenian people. And as Araksya referenced, it was the courage of Dr. Grigorian, my high school Spanish teacher, who was so brave to talk about the Armenian Genocide and what happened. And as you might imagine, it was likely not in the Spanish-speaking curriculum to learn about the Armenian Genocide, but she made a point to teach us. And it wasn't just the content of what she said that really sticks with me, it was how she said it, the passion, the urgency, just the heart with which she communicated the importance of this historical event, that 20 years later, it sticks with me. And that is the impact that our educators have. I think we should clap for them. So thank you to our educators. Thank you to this amazing organization for having me. And to Dr. Grigorian, and also, of course, to the Armenian people. This award is for you. Thank you.